Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Sredna, an artist who makes nature and fantasy paintings. For today's video, I'm going to show you how I made my first zine called Let's Get a Cat. So with this zine, I learned how to do this from a Skillshare class. Recently I had seen a lot of other YouTubers and artists like recommending Skillshare, and I kept hearing about it, and it just came the day, well actually it's probably because it's winter break, and so I have like a break from my classes, so I'm finishing up my computer degree while building my art business, and I'll be done with that next year, so I'm super happy to do that, and then I can just have art to do instead of homework and art, especially like unrelated to art homework. Like it's really hard to get in like the computer zone and like do my homework from there and then be like, okay, time to use my creative energies to create works of art. It's very different parts of my brain being used, so I look forward to using more of my creativity and things that I create. So let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so I have, break, and then I was like, oh, I should fill my time in learning new things. And, so I purchased a Skillshare membership. I think it was like 130. I know, I'd have to double check. But for the year, but I think there's also a monthly, you could pay like for it monthly, but then it ends up being like 300 something a year. And I already like saved so many classes like on my to-do list, so I know like it's gonna take me a long time. So I just purchased I did the trial because it's like a 30-day trial, and then got the membership the next time they were gonna charge my card, and I'm super happy with it because it's really helping me to learn new skills so that I can incorporate that into like my art business. And yeah, it's great. I mean, this is kind of because I was thinking about, okay, what can I do to improve my knowledge of like running an art business, and what can I do to improve like children's illustration drawings, because that's something that I've been drawn to, and I want to get better at it, and like how to even do that, because I would say from the last like official art class that I've taken, there was like a class at at an art museum, and it was from like a still life, those kind of drawings, and then so you were, I guess, drawing with a pencil, like bookcases, maybe some pottery. It was like what was in the room sort of thing, and the teacher set up like a backdrop and stuff. And then before that, the art classes I've taken were in high school, and there we played around with a variety of mediums. Like we did oil paints and acrylics, we did pastels, ink drawings and stuff. And actually there was a graphic design course I took in high school, where we were supposed to design a skateboard, and the teacher was teaching us Photoshop and that sort of computer design, but I was really drawn to like using traditional mediums, so I requested that I could like hand draw on the skateboard with like ink. And I feel like I need to show you a picture of that. And that, like, it turned out super great, and I loved doing it. And then, what else was there? Oh, actually, I forget if it was like every summer, or maybe it was just like for 1 or 2 summers, but I went to I think this was in high school too, where there was this was when I lived in Reisterstown, Maryland, and maybe like a mile down the street near my school and library, and across the way from a cemetery, actually. That was those were all the buildings that you could see in the same vicinity. It was very, very strange growing up. I'm like, why is there a cemetery across from the school? Okay. But anyway, I feel like it's charming and like, wow, that's so unique for the area. So anyways, around there, because it was like a little historic community and little boutiques and shops and brick roads and stuff like that. It's a really cute little town. And there was this place upstairs where it was like a shared art studio space, and I forget if there was one teacher or more. I don't really know. All I know is that I would like probably walk or bike there. I would go upstairs. There'd be a couple people in the room. People had their easels out and some painting supplies, and I would just pick a seat, sit by the easel. The teacher would come over, maybe lend me some advice onto how I should go about a reference image that they had like put near my easel, and then maybe I talked to them too about like, oh, I'm planning on doing the water today or the boat or whatever it was, or if it was like an apple or pear. And yeah, that they always had us draw fruits too. So oh my gosh, I love that so much. I think that was my favorite way my like favorite environment to make art in, because it was just so like relaxing and peaceful. And then like he just let you go. Like he's like, okay, little introduction here, welcome in, yada yada yada, and then like just like left, and then for the next, I don't know, hour or two just sitting there in my little corner painting away. But it was nice because even though I was in my own little world like as I was doing it, so was the other people there. And it was fun to see, like, okay, I came in the beginning of the class, here's where they were in the painting, and then by the end of when I was like leaving, like, oh wow, they added in that tree or that person. So it was almost like the original time-lapse YouTube paintings that I do now, but in real life, I guess. So those were a lot of fun. So what I'm trying to say from going over all of my past experiences with learning how to make art is that it's been from reference from something right in front of you, and it's been a more of a realistic style. And then from that, I was trying to think, and then I learned to, I guess once I had like gotten to a place where I was pretty happy with the stuff I was making, then I started to be like more expressionistic, I guess you could say, like in my work. So not trying to stick to the form exactly, like just going where I felt it looked good and using like the colors that really spoke to me and things like that. And so like my style, I would say, for when it comes to like oil paints and acrylic paintings where you get like those really bold paints, my style is very impressionistic. And I usually do like nature scenes because I just love nature so much. I'm like, yes, I will always paint the flowers and the mushrooms and the trees and everything. And then, let me see, after doing that for a while, I'm trying to think, then I tried out watercolor. And once I did, I will say that in the meantime, like I would do sketches, and I really like the idea of sketches and doing them. But then like for acrylic paintings and oils, it doesn't work that great because they just go right over it because the paint is so thick and bold and things like that. And so I always had like a little bit of sadness when like I try to do like my really nice sketches and it's like, oh, they're all covered up with the paints I'm using. So that was something that drew me to watercolor a bit, was like, oh, I can make a sketch and like you can see it after. This is so great. So that is what drew me to watercolors, and since I have gone there, I have not looked back. They are so great. I enjoy working with them. And they can be so, I don't know, like calming and serene and fun to work with. Like I love just like the random places that they go and like the marks they appear. Like I like to follow the water puddles and just let them be where they want. It's always, to me, it's like surprising when I work with them, and I like that surprise that, like, so I've kind of lowered my expectations for, well, I want this to look like just this way, because you can, I think, pretty much do that when you use acrylics and like oil paints. Like you can keep buffing it out, you can keep shading it out, you can leave it the hell alone, and it will look a certain way once you do that every time. But like watercolor does not like to be messed with. Like once I do like one wash and then I like go back to the second one, I'm pretty much done, because if I try to put any more like layers and stuff, like it'll probably like start like the paper will get really wet and it'll start to like come up with it. So that's just something that I've noticed in like a difference, like painting wise. And so it leads me to here. So once I was like doing more watercolors and I'm doing like all my flower and other scenes, but then it felt like a good time to like now introduce like some characters, so maybe like some animals or some people, and like bring scenes to life that like were in my head, or maybe I had got an idea from somewhere, seen a show or read a book and wanted to put it all down. And so it gave me a good good leeway into that. And also like it's very common with, I guess, like books and illustrations and like cartoon styles and comics, that sort of thing. Oh my gosh, a little big comic lover over here. Always have, always will. So anyway, I'm just trying to say I really like the effect that gave to my paintings, and then it allowed me to like really sketch out like all these characters and then go in with some color. So yeah, and so it's led me to this place where we have the zine that is made using my handy dandy sketching first. And then first I do since I don't have a recordings of like my earliest sketches and I really want to show you all the whole thing, we're going to go on a little journey through time, because like taking a class how to learn a zine did put me on this journey to making this. But to be honest, it all started when I first got my cat. Okay, so we went to a cat adoption place, and so we go there, and there's like all these different kinds of cats in every room, and we have the whole family with my 2 kiddos and my partner, and we're all looking for cats. And of course, like the kids like the hysterical kittens who are like jumping all over the place, and I'm already getting a headache thinking about it. So I look over by the window. There is this adorable cat snuggled in its little bed, sitting on the windowsill, and his name is Pierce. And that is the cat we ended up getting. I wanted an old man cat who was done with life and all the energy, of the, kittens and stuff. Like I wanted them to just be like calm, a lap cat, right? Like just come over, let's cuddle. And I mean, he totally is. He totally is. He's a sweetheart. He is the sweetest cat like to have ever lived, probably. He's just so friendly. Like we've had him, I think, for a little over 2 years now. He has never tried to like bite us or scratch us, and we can do anything to him, the poor guy. Like I will pet him on his belly, he just lays open like, okay, I guess. I'm like, I didn't know cats to like this or put up with it, but he'll do that. That's what he does. He puts up with us. And the kids, of course, like we had to go through a lot of like, hey, like we gotta use our gentle hands, and cats, have feelings too, don't bother him, that sort of thing. But he like learned to, like if they were getting a little too rough, he would just run away, and that's his thing. He is the biggest scared shitty cat as well. If he feels at all like the situation's not going to go good for me, boom, he has run to the other side of the room. He's hid somewhere. You will not find him. He's gone. He's out. Fight or flight, he's the flight cat. So that was really good for us because like with like a house with younger kids, it's like, oh gosh, like I hope they're not torturing him. He never stood there and took it. Like if they were not gentle, he was out. And so now fast forward to where we are now, they do like a lot better with him. They, know to be, use soft hands and things. And now he'll come over to them and rub, against their legs and want to be pet. And he did not do that at first. And with all of us, when we first got him, right when we brought him home, he ran into the toiletry closet, like where you keep all the towels and the soaps and stuff in the bathroom. He ran in there and hid under the towels, and we just left him there so he could just sort of get accustomed to us. It wasn't a rush. And after like a few days of meeting with him and giving him food and water and pets and talking, in a nice voice, he slowly came out. And then maybe the order on this is a little mixed up, but from what I remember, then it was him. Oh yeah, he was going into like our room, of course, because he thinks that's okay, but it was not okay with me. So I like shushed him out of there for a bit, and now he knows not to go in there, but occasionally I feel like he does. Oh, maybe that's when I'm mad at him because he's like peed somewhere, and then he'll like run into my room because he knows that's like a safe space, I guess. But anyway, he was able to learn, hey, don't go into mom's room, and he really doesn't unless it's an emergency, I guess. And he'll just like walk past it on the way to his bathroom, so he knows like, oh, I'm not allowed there. So I know he's capable, but this cat has gotten on my last nerve because he would poo and pee on our shag rugs or just on our carpets in general. Like most of our carpets have like a higher pile, so they're like really comfy and to sit on and play on and things like that. And when we first brought him home, oh my god, he was doing it all the time, like every day, if not every other day. He would just like make these spots like all over the kids' carpet, in their toy room, like all over the in their bedrooms, like the carpets in there. And then we put him in, what was it? We would put him like in the bathroom when he did that, so that he would get used to using his litter box for a bit, and then bring him back out. But then he would do it. So it was a whole thing. It was a big process, lots of replaced carpets. You can like never get the smell out. It's so gross. And, lots of like, hey, you need to just be by your litter box because you need to use it consistently so you know not to go on a carpet. Well, come to find out, this cat we adopted, he used to live in a van with at least 30 other cats. He was actually rescued from a cat hoarder. So there was this lady who, I guess the summer before we got him, her van was parked and people were walking by. It was like downtown, and they all saw all these cat faces in the window, and they looked like they were suffering, like panting and things like that. And so they called animal control. And when animal control showed up, they're like, oh my god, this is a very, this is going to be a very intense situation. So they tried to get the cats out, like from the doors or whatever. They couldn't. And I think they had to like break the back door or something. And then a flood of cats just started running out of the van, and they said the stench was like forever seared into their brain. God awful. Like there was feces everywhere. I mean, just so many cats, just pee everywhere. I mean, it's just, the environment they were living in was just absolutely disgusting. And the cats that were in there, obviously like not very well taken care of. And so when we brought Pierce home, he seemed to just, that was just his life. He's like, if I need water, I'm going to go to the toilet bowl. He would actually, I kid you not, we have his fresh water by his little cat tower with his food and stuff. He would just go to the bathroom and just drink out of the toilet water. It was like, why do you prefer this water to your fresh water? It's like, oh, right, the van. So, yeah. So there was just a lot of bad habits that he picked up, and probably, in a van, pooing and peeing like wherever he wanted on everything too. Like scratching everything and the pee. Yeah, it's all the things. So, usually for a cat, them knowing where to use the bathroom is not an issue. That's kind of one of the positive points of getting a cat. That, has been a struggle with our cat. So as sweet as he is, he's also a little stinker. And so, let me see. Yeah, so from all that, he inspired me to, you know what? It would be really cool to make a little story about him and kind of show this process of like adopting a cat and how it turns out. And so my original idea was to make it a children's book, and I had some rough sketches of it out and some pages of it out, and I can't even remember like where I learned to do this, or if I just like watched a video that was like, oh yeah, here you can make a book or something somewhere. So I had like little storyboards going on, and then I made like a cover, and what else did I? Oh, and then I ended up making a painting of Pierce in a van full of cats doing all kinds of hijinks. And that was a lot of fun. And then, let me see, at some point, I then reached out to a bunch of different, like, publishers or book agents or something like that, like, in the, like, industry, and being like, hey, let me pitch you, like, my book idea. How does this sound? Should we go along with it? And so I also sent them, like, a sample of my other work, because I didn't have, like, a whole book of it, like, of illustrations, like, ready to go. I had, like, some samples of some stuff, and then I showed them, like, my previous artwork from, like, various scenes. And their response to me was, well, the people who did get back to me, I'm very grateful, because even though it was, like, a no, it was still nice to know that, like, oh my gosh, you can reach out to people, you'll get some feedback. And something common I heard was that my work itself, or what I had like sent to them, they couldn't find like a cohesive style in it, so they weren't sure what it would end up looking like if I, did make the illustrations for the book. And so that really spoke to me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can totally see that. Like, there is, like, when you're making a book, you have to do like the same thing over and over and over. And like, my work at the time was not showing that they could just like, basically see a preview of like what the book would look like. So I like took that feedback and I was like, okay, let's see like what I can work on to have like a more cohesive style. And I think at the time I don't think I was even doing much illustrations. I was doing more of these like big paintings and lots of nature scenes. And then after that, I was like, oh my gosh, I do want to make a book, and I do want to illustrate it. And that's something that I need to practice and really get a cohesive, body of illustrations down, and things like that. And so here we are now on my journey. And like, since then I've done various, well, not exactly cat related, but from different sorts of scenes and with like people and animals, and that's been really fun. And I've even like written some like shorter stories that are up on Sredna Writes, like my blog kind of, it's on my website. There's a link to it if you want to check that out. And so, let's see, where are we? Okay, we're at the point where, yes, I had the idea for book, but then at the time, yeah, was missing some stuff to make it like, an actual out there book. I mean, through publishers, I'm sure I could have gone like a self-publishing route, but I really wanted to, see from these industry experts, like, I wanted their feedback on what I should be doing and things like that. And so then after that, let me see. Okay, then I've just been working on, making illustrations, like working on watercolors and things like that, sketching out scenes. And I've been working more on character designs and how to come up with that, how to make those. Skillshare has been really helpful in that because there's just so many varieties in the ways that we can make up people and kids and older people and people from various backgrounds and regions in the world and ethnicities, and it's just a smorgasbord. So along the way, I picked up, let me see, oh yeah, and these cat drawings, I just love them so much. Like, there's so many cute cat stuff out there, and I have let me see. Oh yeah, I also like picked up some books to practice drawing cats and dogs and other animals and things like that. So I'm sharing all that because I want to say that, like, even though I made this zine, in like fairly, like, pretty recently, it's been building up to this, like, over the course of a year, like having the, like, idea for it, knowing what I wanted to say in the story, and then working on, like, illustrations and working on characters and animals and things like that. So by the time I went to take this class on Skillshare, and I took it because it sounded interesting. I like learning a bunch of different techniques, and I never know when it'll come in handy. So that's why I took the class. And oh my goodness, like, wow, it's just so fun to see how, I wasn't even thinking it when I started the class, like, oh, here's what I'll do the book on. But it's such a fitting message, I'm trying to say the message of the story, the heart of the story, it fits a zine context so well, because in a zine, like, you can really get your, like, story across in, like, a concise way in a smaller format. So it'll take less time, like, than if you're doing, like, these full page spreads. Like, I've researched a lot into how long it takes to make books, and I was saying, like, oh yeah, it takes like months, and like, or it could even take like years, like, it just depends, but definitely like a long term investment. And I think it's such a great idea, not that I'm never gonna make a book, but I think, like, doing this kind of stuff in kind of preparation from it is actually really good too, because if this part goes well, if you can make like a little mini book, then I feel like then you'll know, oh, okay, this is the story I want to tell, this is the I can see where this bigger picture is going. And it's also something that could be sent to those publishers, or like when doing a book pitch, like, if they can see that, like, okay, here's everything in like a little preview what it would end up looking like, I feel like that would be an even like better pitch to them than previously, where I had all sorts of like different mediums and subjects and stuff and sent it to them. So this is like an even better way. And then this format, this can be like scanned in, it can be printed, it can be given to like a lot of people. It's just a cool little thing, right? Like, you can, whatever ideas you want to get down, whatever stories you have in your head, make it into a zine. It'll go pretty good, I think. So my experience with it has been so great, because it is, I just don't know. Like, do you ever like feel those things in your heart and then you're just bursting? You're like, I want to get this out. And to me, that's what happened with this story. It's like, this is this is the story I've been wanting to tell, and I'm just glad that it's out there in the world now. So yeah, so now you know how the idea, I will say, of the zine came to be. And then as far as the practicality of making it, who is it? Oh yeah, the teacher who I watched on Skillshare, oh my gosh, let me find her name. Oh, Kate Bingaman Burt. She did a wonderful job explaining all the steps to making it, and it really like was not hard. It was like take a piece of paper, fold it a little bit, and then make like a little cut, and you've got your book. And I'll show you like at the end how it ends up folding together to make it. And so I just had a ton of fun with this, and it doesn't need like a stapler or any binding things. It just works right away. Now, when she was doing the class, she showed doing it on like a regular piece of paper and said people can do like collages on it, or they can do like ink drawings on it, and that like boldness is really good for these. I decided, since I knew I wanted to paint it and that watercolor is my preferred medium, I decided to do this on watercolor paper. Well, the thing about that though is that the paper is so stiff, it's really hard to fold, so you probably won't get like those perfect creases because it doesn't exactly go where you want it to. But for my purposes, I was fine with that because I figured I could just paint the whole thing and then scan it in, and then I could always print it out on like regular sheets of paper after that, and then I could, fold it and be really nice or whatever. So that was fine with me. So yeah, let me tell you a bit about my process. So there are, oh, excuse me. I want to show you all my earlier sketches. And these were the ones where I was having like an idea of a scene and wanted to get it out. And I also was figuring out what sort of style that I want my cat to look like. So I researched a bunch of different images of different ways like people have been like drawing cats or like illustrating cats, that sort of thing, so that I could come up with something that like, oh, okay, that's how that can be simplified. And that was my intention, for it to be, yeah, like get the point across and like, okay, this is the cat, and have it be like fun and playful. And that's why I put a smile in every single scene for him, because he's such a sweet cat. Like, I know he's not intentionally trying to piss me off when he pisses somewhere. But so I just love that he has this like little smile, like whatever he's doing. And yeah, so I got those, and then once I did those, I guess you would say like rough sketches, and then I knew how many, and then once I knew how many pages it would be, like how many, I mean, it's always going to be this number of pages. Oh, but on the back, apparently, you could put like some images on there so that when somebody sort of like unfolds the book, maybe there's this really cool scene there or something. I didn't do that this time around, but I like that idea. So after I did those rough sketches, I then, with pencil, like went through this watercolor paper, and then first I put all the numbered like pages on there because I wanted to know, okay, this is the cover, this is the back, here are the orders of the page, and then did the sort of final sketches on there with pencil. And then once I did that, I went over my lines with a waterproof marker in a couple different like finer lines. So I think I used like a 0.5, a 0.3, a 0.1. So depending on how big or small the object was that I was tracing over, I used varying lines. And for the title, I made that like extra bold. And so then I went over all my lines, as you saw like earlier in the video, with the markers, and then I forget if I waited like a day or a few hours or something, but then after I waited, because I wanted to make sure there was plenty enough time that when I went to erase the pencils underneath, it wouldn't like smudge the marker. So then I went over with my eraser, just went over all the markers, and then I erased all the pencil lines underneath. And then once I did that, then I got my, all my outlines going on. So then now I can shade it in. And, I would love to tell you that I pre-planned this color palette, but yeah, no, it didn't really happen. Honestly, I'm not as much of a planner as I am when it comes to my colors. I just kind of go with what I think would look nice next to each other, honestly. I have done, usually you see like my pan to the side, those are all my go-to colors. I just leave it on there because like every single time those are like all the colors I need. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I really like color and how they look beside each other. And I have even tried a class before where somebody was walking through the process of, here, I planned this palette out, and then I know these two are going to mix into this, and then when this overlaps with this, it's going to look like this, and like, here's the shawl, here's the face. Like, it was just so much that I just didn't see myself doing that, but I appreciated that, they shared their process and how they go about it. It's so amazing, all the different ways people go about it. For me, yeah, my process is, here's all the colors on my pan. They look really nice. Let's see. I want a blue sky here. Maybe we'll do some green curtains. A red building in the background would look nice with these colors. And that's sort of what I think about as I'm doing it. If I'm not sure about how a color will look beside another color, I'll have like a piece of like scratch water paper on the side, and I'll kind of test them out beside each other, like do a swatch for like, okay, look at this way this orange and purple look next to each other. How do I feel about that? Or what exactly is the shade of brown that I'm about to put down, because it's really hard to, remove all semblance of that color once it's on. So I'll do that if I'm unsure, kind of thing. Or even sometimes, I don't think I did it for this one, but there has been a time where I think it was for like the girl who went to the moon one, where I was unsure about like what skin tone she would have, and then like the dress she would be wearing, and then I don't know what color her hair was or something. So like on a scrap, watercolor paper, I like did some swatches for like, here's a couple of color tones for the face, and then here's a couple color tones for the dress, and then I picked out, okay, I like these two with this or something, and then used that in the final drawing. So occasionally I'll do something like that, but I think that's, at least currently, that's how far I kind of go with that. I would say my usual process is sort of similar to how I pick out my clothes, honestly. I really like bright colors, and I like unexpected choices. Like I don't like to play it like too safe. So if I'm not going to be that person that wears like a black shirt with blue pants. And I mean, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying it's not fine to be that kind of person. I'm just saying that, like, I really like when there's, like, brightness and then there's, like, unexpectedness. So maybe it's, like, a red skirt with, like, an orange sweater or something. And then there's, like, a black and white plaid over top. And then maybe there's some dangly flower earrings. Like, I like all sorts of, like, mix and matching, all different sorts of patterns and colors and boldness and things like that. So I feel like when I paint, I like those same things too. I like those sort of unexpected bits, or those things that kind of, it makes me smile. So I hope it makes you smile too. Let's see, what else shall I talk about this picture. Oh, the words. I guess I could talk about the words that I did to it. So when I was first making the book title, I was thinking my thoughts were that this would be like a series of good intentions. And here's one of the good intentions. Well, let's get a cat, you know. And then like, oh, here's what happens. Oh, I had another idea. It was, let's make a baby. And then like throughout the story, it's like sleep deprivation and like have less time for yourself and, you know, expenses in college and more food and all this. So, and, you know, more worries. Now you got someone else on your mind and just all these things. So that my partner and I got like a good laugh out of that. Like, it sounded like a good idea. Like all this stuff. And I mean, like, but what I like about these sort of things is like the good intentions. Like, it starts off with a good intention, and then in the middle of the story, there's like, oh my gosh, all these things are not going so great, and like, gosh. And then like at the end, it's like, oh gosh, you know, still love you, sort of sentiment and thing. So it's not about like regretting. It's just the unexpected things that come with, like, if earlier on, you know, like if you knew, like if I knew when I got this cat, you know, that he would have been, you know, pooing all over the carpets and he would be meowing 24/7 a day and like eating my kids' bacon, you know, all this stuff. Like, would I have rethought that? I don't know, maybe it is about regret. No. He's so sweet though. God, it's so hard. It's so hard to say because there is some, you know, there is a bond that happens when you go through like tough times with someone or, you know, your pets. And it's just hard, you know, it's hard to just say that like you just wouldn't do it because that would just mean that, well, I only want my life to be just easy all the time and that's it. But we're not really like that. Like, I've caused plenty of, you know, troubles for my, you know, family too and friends, and they've caused plenty of trouble for me. But it brings us closer in a way. And, you know, what would our relationship be like without those tough things that we've sort of faced together? So, you know, it just puts little things in perspective here. Okay, had to pause the recording because my partner just came in and offered me some egg salad that he had just made, and it was so good. Oh my goodness, I was like, you're throwing down the gauntlet, because I usually make the it's like potato salads and egg salads and stuff, but this time he came through. Can't wait to eat that when I'm finished up here. So let me see, where was I? Oh yes, so the, you know, all the feelings that come with the hard times with people and the bonding and the pets and the love and all of that. And so, yes, and with the kids too, and friends too, and cars too, when they break down on you. I don't know. It can be applied to everything. But anyway, yes, we've talked about the title. We've talked about so this series, I was thinking good intentions. Here's a couple things. And I was like, Sredna, you're getting ahead of yourself. It doesn't need to be that right now. Like, we don't have to, you know, go there yet. Like, this is your very first zine. Like, what are you doing? You don't need to be thinking about what collection this is going to be part of. So I was telling myself that to like calm my ass down, and then decided, you know what, let's make this a spiffy title. We're just going to get right to the point. Let's get a cat. And so it became that. And then the rest of the words, I was even debating, should I even have words in here? Or should I just start off with one and then not have them in the middle and then at the end have some? Like, what are we doing here? But I thought, let me just put my impressions of when these scenes have happened, how, you know, I felt, or like what I said, what I thought at the time. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to have a lot of words. In fact, I think it just makes it more, open to interpretation or open to someone else to be more relatable to the scene. And it gets the point across. And so that's just kind of what I went with. When we first got him, he was sitting by the window and he was all snuggly. And so that is the scene I have in my mind I wanted to capture. When he pooed on my kids' carpet in their toy room, we are all very familiar with that. In fact, a few weeks ago, we had to get rid of a carpet in our basement because he had been going down there to secretly pee. And we just noticed. I don't know how long he's been doing that, the little jerk. So, we have less shag rugs now. And that, that's just how it is with Pierce. Like sometimes we have to make adjustments too. Just like he has to make adjustments for us, we have to make adjustments for him. It's how we all live in harmony. And then the next scene. So yeah, it starts with, oh, he's so cute. And then it's like, gross. And stop that, because that orange chair, that is one of my favorite chairs. It's in the kids' schoolroom where I was doing homeschool with both of them. Although now I'm doing homeschool with one, and then we may or may not be doing that again after next year. Anyway, we'll see. So anyway, this is my, hey, let's get comfy, let's get cozy. Wow, I love this color. And I look over and the little bee is scratching it up. I'm like, God damn you. So there he is, scratching my favorite couch. And then the next scene is, here is the time of day. And no matter if it is morning, noon, or night, he is meowing his ass off. Oh my God. I've asked Aaron, I'm like, babe, since you grew up with a lot more animals than me and pets and all stuff, you've seen a lot of cats. You've been around. What the F is going on? I've never heard a cat this loud before. And he's like, no, seriously, me neither. Cats are not usually this loud. Our cat, he talks, he whines, complains. I don't know, maybe he's meowing just to say hello. Maybe he's meowing to be friendly. I don't know. But he meows all the time. Now, a good thing about that is he is easy to find because, since he trusts us now and stuff, you can just yell out, no matter where you are in the house, Pierce, Pierce, and then you'll hear him, meow, meow. He'll just walk, start coming over to you. You can hear him a mile away. So there's that. I guess if there's a plus side or upside to that. Actually, that's how I knew one day that he hadn't run out of the house. So my kid had left the door open and we just assumed, then he said he saw him run outside. And so then by the time he told me, because it was a few minutes later, I was like, oh my God. So I go outside, I'm calling out, Pierce, Pierce. I didn't hear anything. I was like, you know what? I don't think he's out here. I go back in the house. Sure enough, he's, by his little bed or something. I'm like, okay. But I know he ran out there because my kid saw him. But, he also ran his ass back because he's a scaredy cat. But that was a nice thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I can just call out to him. If I don't hear him, he's not there. He does not know how to be quiet if his life depended on it. He just doesn't. So there we go. But as far as everyday situations, it's coming downstairs, meow, meow, meow. It's his good morning meow. And then we'll, in the afternoon, if no one's on the couch or something, then it's meow, meow. And that's his, I want you to sit down and we need to have some cuddles. And then he likes to meow when he's on his way to the bathroom. He'll meow and then he'll go up the steps, finish his business, come back down. Oh, I'm back. It's that's good. Oh my gosh. And then he'll, when I give him a treat, if it's some fish or bacon or something, then he'll meow after it, probably because he wants some more. He'll also meow before it, but I try to wait till he's at least quieted down. And I think that's the thing too, oh gosh, I mean, it's not a perfect system, but we have tried to, at least when we're giving him stuff, to wait for him to quiet down a bit before giving him other stuff. But sometimes he just never stops. So there's that. So, world's most talkative cat over here too, it sounds like. I wonder if we can, record his meows and send it to the Guinness book or something. That's a thing. I'm not sure. And that's him. So, that is that scene because I'm constantly telling him to shut up because of his meowing. Let's see, the next scene. Oh, yes, get down. The fame at that time. So, this is another thing. So, let me see. Oh, yeah, I think it was my son. Yeah, he had his plate. It had some, like, bacon, eggs on it, something. And I guess he had left some bacon on his plate. We come back later. The plate is on the ground, and so is Pierce eating it. So what I think happened is that he pushed it onto the ground on purpose because he knows he's not allowed on the table because we shoo him off of it if he tries to do that. So I feel like, he might have just like kind of kept pawing at it till it fell on the ground and was like, well, I usually eat it on the floor, so like that must be okay. Who knows? But we caught him in the act eating the steak out the plate. And it's like, well, we can't just leave food out on the table now. So now when we have leftovers and stuff, we always like cover it up with foil if it has some sort of meat on it, because he will definitely do his best to try to get it down. And I mean, that seems like the signs of a smart cat, like that he knew to do that. But, why can't the same cat, not stop shitting on the furry carpet? So, I mean, I'm probably feels better than your litter box, but really, dude, is it worth it? Is it worth it to be yelled at and then put in a room with your litter box for a few days so that you can use it consistently again and learn that you're not supposed to go anywhere else? Like, I don't know. To me, not worth it. But hey, what do I know? So that is the get down scene. And then at the end, why did we get a cat? That is the question, folks. After all of this turmoil and all of these ups and downs and all of these little hijinks and the annoyances, just the sheer annoyances of this cute and cuddly cat. That is the question that pops up at the end of the day. Oh my gosh. So, and then, but I also love that this, like, in the last scene, like, the cat is just like, so, just cuddling up to the owner, like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, we're best friends, right? I'm like, oh my god, you're the bane of my existence. Oh, oofda. Actually, at some point in here, I will have a scene where our cat is going to visit for a bit and tell me how I'm doing with my drawing of him. And you'll get to hear his famous meow. And so that is the zine. I mean, that's like, I think I talked all about how the ideas I came up with and then what I did for the paper and laid out the scene and everything. So I'm trying to think what else is there. Boom, 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 boom. Actually, I think that's all for that. So, but since this is a one of these like longer videos where I talk about different things and just like have a chill out session, I can go into other things that have been going on. Like, I don't know if I've already, I should go over the shows and maybe some books I'm reading. So let me see, I have a little paper here. One sec. Okay, because I am a very, even though I try to be, or I don't know about trying, but like even though I exude a certain calm and chill vibe, I also am very like ambitious and goal oriented and always have like a lot, like juggling like a lot of different things. So I will talk about some of those things now. So as you all know, I started my, oh gosh, do I even know? Okay, I started my art business around March 2019. And that was when I opened up my Etsy shop. And at first I was selling jewelry, hypoallergenic jewelry. And what else did I feel like I just put all kinds of stuff on there. Like I did some art stuff too, but I did do a lot of jewelry at the time. And then like later on I focused more on art. And so in the midst of that, like, oh, what is my journey going to be like as an artist? I like did a lot of like self-taught things, like looking up videos on how to draw certain things and like improve my art skills. And then I also looked at like business and marketing videos, like what can I do for that side of things. And then once I've just been doing that like over the course of, since I started. And so recently, let me see, I have like this little star chart and it says, you can do it. And this I wrote on here to improve my illustration skills and, by like taking classes on it and reading books and doing practices and all that sort of stuff. And so once I do 50 sorts of practices or make 50 things for that, then I give myself a reward. And for rewards, I have take a trip to somewhere inspiring, or visiting like a comic convention. And apparently San Diego Comic-Con is like super huge around the US. So that is something, that I could do. Oh, there's Dragon Con too. I wrote that down. Oh, I have been wanting to see. Okay, so I saw on Instagram there was an artist who, oh my gosh, I love her work, I follow her, and she was doing these just like fantasy illustrations that were really fun. And then she mentioned how she was going to be at a dragon convention. I was like, oh my god, that's a real thing? Goodness. Why am I just now hearing about this? So that sounds really cool. And then I was talking to Erin about what if I bring my leopard gecko, Kara, to Dragon Con and like have her in my booth while I have up a bunch of dragon paintings. Like, wouldn't that be so epic? He thought that was amazing, but that she would probably hate it and it might be hard to keep her warm. But, I guess, in the car ride, gotta keep that temperature above 80, probably, from a little desert girl. But anyway, such a cute idea, and he definitely said everyone would be in my booth trying to come in, because everyone would be like, oh my god, you brought your lizard with you, and everyone there loves lizards. So that is what reminded me about all of that. Okay, let me see. And I love comic conventions. I like to cosplay too sometimes and like dress up. So let me see, who have I done? I did last time I was at Emerald, or the bigger one I was at was Emerald City Comic-Con, and that one I was Asuna from Sword Art Online, and then Erin was whoever her guy is. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. And that was really fun. Oh, and then while I was there, oh my gosh, I wonder if I can find a picture of this. While I was there, I met people who were cosplaying as, let me see. Oh yeah, Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher. And then, oh my god, am I really gonna forget her name right now? His daughter. I love her so much. His like adopted daughter. She's even like my avatar. Oh my god. Kurt. I'm gonna have to look this up because I can't just blank on this right now. Why can't I not remember her name? Let me see. Daughter of Geralt. let me see. Oh, Siri. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so Siri, she, yeah, was cosplaying. So amazing. I mean, they did such a great job. Siri blew me out of the water. I was like fangirling, like had met the real Siri. It was that real to me. And yeah, that was just such a fun one. And then I've gone to like some local ones, but like North Dakota doesn't really have, we're not really known for having all the big events over here. So probably got to go to Minneapolis to go to a bigger one. For me, that'd probably be the closest. Ooh, we're like Renaissance Fair. I went to the Minneapolis Run Fest. I think that one is the biggest one, or has like the most number of people in the US who attend, because that one was like, that was super huge, and got to like go to a hookah bar. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I picked up some little, ooh, I could show you my little knickknacks I got at Renfest, like my little spider made from these super cool jewels, and then this little house, little cottage house, so cozy. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. And let me see. Okay, so wait, now I'm just talking about Renaissance Fest, and okay, but those are the kind of things I like. So I will travel for a Renaissance festival, and I will travel for comic conventions. Now, the other reward I had said, oh, take a trip to somewhere. Okay, so to me that means maybe like an art museum somewhere. I could go to like the cities like Minneapolis and visit something. Oh, I could go to Chicago. I love the Chicago Art Museum, but I would like to like check out some new ones. I've done some of the ones like on the Smithsonian on the East Coast, just because that's like I grew up in Maryland along with California and stuff, and I'm very familiar with like the East Coast and all the stuff over there. So like as kids we did field trips to Washington DC, so I feel like I've kind of been there already. So maybe I'll go to like New Mexico. Oh, maybe like a dinosaur museum. I love dinosaurs so much, so seeing those fossils, any science museum really. But I think I did do some research one day to see where like the big dinosaurs fossils were, and I think they might, oh my gosh, where am I thinking? Wisconsin? Wyoming? That comes to mind. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna have to look over that again. But that would be a cool little reward. It's like, oh, good job leveling up your art game. Time to go on a trip. Ooh, that sounds really fun. So, yeah, somewhere inspiring. That would be fun. Or we could just go to the Bahamas and call it a day, because that would be great too. So, and then I also have a sheet that says, a business reward chart. So whenever I am working on business courses, I can get a treat at the end. Oh my gosh, what did I say? Okay, I don't know if this is like the greatest reward. It says get a plaque for my skills I've been building up. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, it sounds like more work for myself. Like, let me make a plaque that says great job, or yeah, for your teaching yourself business achievements. I don't know if that really, to me, that's not very motivating, so I should probably pick a different reward. Oh, spa day. I can get down with that. Get my little body scrub on, get my massage going. Sounds like a good reward to me. And then I have my marketing social media reward chart where, I watched like some YouTubers. They had some great ideas for like videos that I could make for YouTube, and then what are some making art videos, and then how to start an art channel. Although like technically I'd already started an art channel, but it was nice to know, like, okay, just to make sure, let me go with the basics and make sure I have that stuff. And then, oh, my reward, get help with marketing, maybe a coach. Also doesn't sound very rewarding. Like that just sounds like more work. Like now I gotta go find somebody and I gotta do more learning. You know, these rewards need to be improved. Oh, spa day. There we go. We'll just call it a spa day. Actually, I should just combine business marketing, social media. Like all that stuff is kind of like the same thing. I don't know, but oh, I also have a creative writing reward chart, and I have not done one thing in there. Oh my gosh. I wonder if I should just be doing one thing at a time though, because I think right now I'm mostly motivated on the illustration side because I feel pretty confident in, like, I have a business system worked out. Like I know, like I've taken, let me see. Yeah, lots of, oh my gosh, who was it? Oh, Tracy Lizotte Studios. She's like a very experienced artist who has like a successful business, and I watched like a lot of her stuff and joined her academy for a bit where she talked about the business of like marketing your art and making art and the whole process of that. And I feel like that really helped me, along with, I read the book Art Inc. Yeah, about how everything comes together. And I do have a marketing book I haven't started on because I don't know, just saying the word, it's like the least thing that I'm drawn to. So yeah, but maybe one of these days. That's probably the thing I could maybe improve on the most, but it's also, yeah, it's my weakness, maybe. That's what it is. So, but anyway, like using like all these resources to improve that. And so I feel like for the business side, like I feel like I'm good. Like I learned a good system of like, you know, getting the, you know, like I guess coming up with like the ideas, making a plan, let me see, posting works to certain places, you know, scanning it, getting it copyrighted, making prints of it, you know, figuring out what your collections are going to be, all that stuff. And so I feel like now I just want to work on like making more art, even though, gosh, like when I am actually making the art, that process goes a lot smoother than when I have to do all the stuff to prepare it to like be out into the world. So that's kind of the interesting side, is that I probably, yeah, well, I definitely know I spend a lot more time on business, but maybe one day I won't have to. Maybe one day I can hire somebody to do all the other stuff, and then I can just enjoy my days painting and making videos. I do like making videos. I love, I love to like watch other artists, and I mean, it doesn't even have to be artists. It could be like writers, it could be teachers, it could be astronauts. I just like seeing and knowing and like just listening to people talk about, you know, a day in their life, or showing us like the process of how they do something. And it's just, people are so interesting in all the ways that we found to go about something. So I like that I get to contribute to that, and you know, hopefully people are entertained. Hopefully you're being entertained and maybe learn something in the process, or just, you know, have some time to chill, and this is keeping you some company for a while. So yeah, enjoying that. So those are, yeah, I guess like my goals and things I'm working on. And I guess that's sort of because my thing is, okay, so where I am like with my school and why I chose to go the self-taught artist route. So oh my gosh, when did like in 2010, I think that's like when I started my computer science major for like a bachelor's degree. And then like between that time I've been like I had like my 2 kids and raised them, and so I took time off for that when they were babies. And then I went to a coding boot camp that taught me front-end web development, because I thought that could give me a job in the industry. Yeah, no, it didn't. You know, people are still, I would think for the computer industry at least, still pretty into the idea of like having that degree that they're used to, a 4-year degree. And then after that, then I went back to school and got my associates, went to a community college, and that was so great. I loved that. Like, we just saw like the same people every day, and we were like going through classes together. It reminded me of high school, and I just remember the environment being, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, just a few years ago, but that environment was super motivating and everything. So I had a great time with that, made some great friends. And then, I then went to 4-year university to just really finish up my computer science degree. And so, here I am with like a year left, and I'm doing part-time because I've just got other things going on. I still want time for my regular life and things like that. So that, and then I'm like, okay. Oh, I would say then, like, while I was in school, it was like 2019. And then I had gotten an internship, and then, after getting the internship and stuff, I wanted to take some time to figure out, like, what is it I really want to do, or, like, did I want to look at other business opportunities, like, around town, or did I want to work for friends, or, like, what is it that I really want to be doing? So, and then it was, like, in that time where, because I had always done art, like, as a hobby every so often, like I think I painted maybe once or twice a year when I felt in the mood, I was like, is this something I could see myself doing pretty regularly? And something that I would, enjoy doing and stuff. And then also, at the time I wanted to make jewelry. And I mean, I still do, but just more so for myself nowadays. And so here we are. And oh my gosh, I feel like I share this story in almost every video. Okay, I hope this is the last time. Hopefully this was a condensed version, so if you all have heard it before, it's not like too annoying. So I don't even remember why I always go down this rabbit hole. Oh my god, okay, self-taught. There we go. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I'm effing done with school. Because this has been a journey since 2010, and I'm over it, y'all. Okay, I feel like I've done enough schooling. Like, and so I've gone to the, the traditional school route. I've also done the coding camp, or, I've done like the alternative, paths too. And and then now I'm doing but also all along, when there was ever something I wanted to learn, even for computers, I'm on the internet. I'm like, hey, how do I do that thing? Or looking at like YouTubers, or looking at certain sites that guide how to go. I mean, for computers, it's like Stack Overflow is like a really good coding site. And then like for artists, I'm trying to think. I don't really know of like a forum to be like, hey, is this doing this right? I guess Instagram could be like that. If you're like, hey, everyone, like, what do you think I should do here? You could have that as the community. And so, just all along, whenever there's been something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to learn that thing. Well, I did the same thing with art. And then at some point I was like, I was thinking about, is this something that I would go to school for? Like, after I finish up my school next year, like, would I then start going to, a school to learn a, more formal training in it? Right now, I would say no, because I'm over it, and I'm over school. I'm over, like, that sort of school system where, like, you have to be in it for so many years, and, there's all these courses you have to take, and it's like they may not even be relevant for like what you want to do, and then they cost money and they cost time. And I'm just not at a point right now where I just want to, just because I'm doing something, that's different from my major, it doesn't make me feel like I want to go do it all over again, but with a different a specialty or something like that. And I don't know, that's how I feel now. Maybe like give me 10, 20 years, maybe I'm like, oh my gosh, I love to go to art school. I don't know, could happen. It's not like I knew 10 years ago that after getting my degree, I'd be like, actually, I'm going to go be an artist. So, shift happens. Can't always be predicted. So, but that's just to say that because I am going the self-taught artist route, I thought it would be a good idea to make like these sort of reward charts, to make these goals, to have these specific things in mind of like, what do I want to improve and where can I go to improve those? How can I practice that? How can I join a like-minded art community to, be inspired by and to connect with, and who, gets the ins and outs of being an artist, or who just love art and that's like great motivation to like lift my spirits up when I'm feeling depressed. It's like just knowing there's other artists in the world. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all are so sweet. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to forge a path for myself where I'm setting myself up for, okay, here's what I want to learn, and here's the steps I need to do it, and then hopefully give myself some sort of reward, even if it is a plaque that just says, you did these classes online. Nice job, Sredna. Gotta keep the spirits up. So that is my journey, and that is why Skillshare is now a part of my journey. Too. They got it's so amazing that like from all over the world, all these artists have so many specialties and ways they go about it, and just seeing them do a process, like I learned something from somebody, like even if they didn't say it out loud, just by watching it, I would gain something very helpful from it, or I would feel like inspired by it or something. There's always some good that comes from sharing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Oh. Well, I think I'm going to end on that note now and let you enjoy the rest of this video. I think so. I'm wondering, is there anything else to talk about? Oh, I could tell about some shows I've been watching. I'm always watching Murdoch Mysteries. That is going on season 14, and I think they're still filming it in Canada though, so it's not over yet, folks. And I love cooking shows, which I like do this weird thing where I'll try not to watch them unless I'm currently eating, because they make me hungry. Like no matter what is going on, if I watch a cooking show, I'm just like, oh my god, I need to eat that thing. And then I'm like in the kitchen, like baking up a bunch of stuff and having like all these dishes and stuff and all these like baked goods. And okay, I guess it doesn't sound like a bad thing, but it's like I'm just trying to relax at the end. That's what happens. It makes me feel like I need to get up and go do something if I watch cooking shows and I'm like, I haven't eaten. And I'm like, I just want to relax and enjoy the effing show without feeling like I now need to go do something. So like I'll watch them while I'm eating, or like I'll have just eaten and then I'll watch it, and then I'll feel like I can enjoy the show without feeling like I need to like go bust my ass and do something. I don't know, that's just like a weird side effect of cooking shows for me. Oh my god. And yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, I watched Glow Up. Well, it's been a little while, but I love that show. Like, I'm not someone who like wears makeup often at all. Like maybe once in a while I'll feel like, oh, it'd be fun to try out this eyeshadow. And that's where it ends, folks, for me. But the Glow Up show, like even though it's all about makeup, like I totally love it. So maybe it's because I just love creative people. So like even if it's not something that, maybe I would personally do, like I really love seeing it come to life, and like the artistry that goes with it, and how people have such a great understanding of like skin and how it reacts to these different paints and mediums. Because I guess it is like painting your face, right? Like it's, whether it's like this powder or this blush, like here are these minerals and they've turned into this form because it's compatible with the paper, the skin that it's going on. It creates these effects, and it's just fun. I'm just like, this is so fun to watch you all. So, Yeah, let me see. What other show? Oh, I've been watching a lot of anime lately. So, specifically Black Clover on Hulu. Yep, it's on Hulu. It's very it's very fast. It can be very fast paced and very, oh my gosh, I don't know, energizing. Like the main character, he's like so cheerful and he's always like, yeah, we can do it. And even though people have told him like, your dreams will never come true, he's like, I can do it. So he's like obnoxious and loud, but he's also like, I'm rooting for you in my heart. I like your can-do attitude. But the show, okay, something that bothers me about the show, they'll have like a 3-4 minute outro and then like a 3-4 minute intro. And so like, in the 20-minute episode, it's like half of it's just, it's not even the story. So I mean, I just want the story to be longer. Like I want the episodes to be longer. I just want to see more of it. I think they could have totally been like a show that has like a solid 40-minute or an hour episode. Like I don't know why they like chopped it up so much. It really has such good pacing, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like super excited. I feel like the story is so good that I'm super excited to know what will happen. I don't want to get interrupted, but at the same time, I think the very long outro and intro scenes are a bit much. So it's probably a combination there. Okay, now that I have spoken to you all and given you my, I kid you not, what do they call it? A 15-minute, they call it a Minnesota goodbye. So, like, even though I live, like, in North Dakota, like, we're really close to Minnesota. Like, we share, borders or, yeah, whatever. So, anyway, that's the thing we do around here, where we say, like, oh, okay, goodbye. And then, like, you find, like, the next 20 minutes to just keep talking about something. Like it's like you don't really want to part, so you just keep it going. But like, oh yeah, just checking in with you. And I was like, oh yeah, what about that thing? I didn't mention, like there's always something to bring up. And so I have done that for you over this video. So yeah, it's a real thing, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope this video, kept you some company. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed hearing all about the zine and everything. I hope that that your projects, whatever you're working on, goes well. If you're in a relaxing point in your day or time, I hope you are able to relax a lot and just chill out. If you want to make a zine now, if you are inspired, that would be really cool. If you want to just read this zine or hold it in your hands or something and read it, if I should print it out and stuff and send it out to people, let me know too. If you read any other, sort of snippets or comments or, zines online, please share them. It would be really cool to hear about all the stories people are making. Because I think, I just had so much fun with this. I want to read some more others that people have made too. So, all kinds of stuff. Good stuff. Well, everybody, please take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you later. Goodbye. What do you think, Pierce? Do you like it? Yeah, do you think it looks good? Does it look like you? Mm-hmm. You don't need to be meowing. What an annoying cat you are. Boom, 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 boom. Shh, go away.